Hello everyone, my name is Drayton, and this is my Battlebot Higher Education. Today we're going to be reviewing the fights from the recent CROK Crimson Carnage, and anyways, let's just jump right into it and see how it goes. This is going to be my very first voiceover style video, so hopefully it goes smoothly. Enjoy. The first fight of the day was against a ring spinner named Crash Test Dummy. Now, one interesting thing is that this was actually Crash Test Dummy's first fight as well. So that kind of eased our nerves just a little bit, going into this fight. So in one of the few opening exchanges, we actually end up losing 2 of our 3 lifting forks. And that's going to be a trend that kind of doesn't go away after this fight. So luckily we do get them knocked off kilter, and they end up gyroing right here. And it was really cool to see. I mean, obviously I've seen videos, but I've never seen it happen in person before. So backed off a little bit more than I should, but get right back on top of them as soon as they fall back flat on their tracks. Again, the name of the game is just staying on top of them because we don't want that weapon get up to speed. So just driving them around, trying to stay on top of them. Right here, try to go in for a pin against the wall, but they end up spinning up and kind of rebounding off the wall, and their weapon got up to speed and took out one of our front wedgelets. But after that exchange, their weapon actually died. I spoke to the builder after this fight, and basically what had happened was the weapon motor screws had came loose because they were not Loctited properly. I ended up actually loaning them some Loctite, and from what I've seen from other videos, they actually ended up doing really well after this fight. So at this point, getting a little bit more courageous with the kind of driving style that we're doing. Obviously still trying to kind of corral them, but at this point, also trying to really show some aggression here. So right here we get a good lift, and then actually clamp them in between our wedgelets and our lifter. So we didn't know that was something we could do. It just happened in the spur of the moment. We took advantage of it and drove them around the arena a little bit. And yeah, this fight did end up going to the judges, where we won by a judge's decision. So the next fight was against a Tombstone clone named Doppelganger. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get a photograph of this robot before the event just because we were rushing to get our weapon forks fixed. We ended up getting a good pin against the wall, and then something unfortunate happens to our opponent. Their drive wheel just fell off. I spoke to the builders, and basically what had happened was the robot was just kind of rushed leading up to the event, and it just wasn't quite ready for this match. It was really unfortunate because I was really looking forward to competing against them, and really hope to see them come back and be ready so we can get a real fight in. Now, the next fight was against Peter. And if you don't recognize that name, you should consider yourself lucky, because this guy builds some impressive machines. In fact, I would probably go as far to say downright terrifying machines. This robot's name is Acceleration, and you can probably see why. It is extremely fast. And when I say extremely fast, I mean it was hard to even square up to, because by the time I was squaring up to it, it was already at the other end of the box. It didn't help that we were kind of undervolted whenever it came to our drive system. We chose to only run at 7.4 volts. For the next revision of this bot, we will be moving up to a 4S, which is about 14.8 volts. So hopefully that will give us a lot more drive power in the future. Beyond that, I mean, he just kept chipping away at us. We did almost get a good lift in here in just a little bit. Right here, we actually did get to test and see if we could self-right. Luckily, it did work out, even though it did take a couple of attempts. Hopefully, we can get that to be more reliable on version 2. So right here is where I did get sort of a lift on him, but, I mean, the robot's just so quick. You have hardly any time at all to react, especially when your robot's driving as slow as ours was. So we did end up tapping out, and Peter took the win. And this robot did end up going all the way and winning the event, so I can't feel too bad about losing to him. Our final fight of the day was against an underspender named Cowpie. Now, this robot is just absolutely terrifying. So we led with our thickest part of our robot, which was our back armor. Unfortunately, that was just a bad judgment call on my part, because he sniped our rear tire. and we lost our drive in the first exchange of the fight. Obviously, I can't say what would have happened if we would have led with our front, so I'm not going to make any assumptions there. But it was unfortunate that the very first exchange ended up that way. He decided to break dance in the middle of the fight. It was not intentional, but it was really awesome. In fact, after I saw that, I was like, okay, I can't tap out quite yet because that was just too cool. And, obviously, I knew I wasn't going to win this fight, but I wanted just to see if anything else would happen. So, breakdance is a little bit more, just hanging out. He spins his weapon down, and he actually drives up to me at this point, and he asks me to try to help himself right. So, unfortunately, I couldn't really get a very good grip with my lifter, so I just kind of slapped his weapon disc. He spun it up and knocked off some of my forks, and here was the biggest exchange right there. He just took out our entire weapon arm. So at that point, I knew the fight was over, and I ended up going for the tap. But needless to say, that was the most exciting fight for me of this whole event. So I just want to give a huge shout out to the Crimson Robotics team for hosting such an amazing event at the University of Oklahoma. And I also want to give a shout out to all the people at Combat Robotics of Oklahoma. Thank you guys for putting on such an amazing event, and I look forward to going to future events. I hear that the next one's going to be in Tulsa, which is local to me, so even better. Let me just kind of show you some of the damage from that last fight real quick. So overall, I mean, we went 2-2, which is honestly way better than I had ever expected, if I'm being completely honest. My goal was to flip someone over once. We ended up winning 2 matches. So a solid start. Obviously, we definitely have some room to grow and definitely need to work on improving our robot for the future. So getting started on that, and hopefully soon I can start revealing some stuff about the next revision of higher education. Beyond that, I'm working on starting a community college robotics team at my local community college where I attend, and we actually just got word that we were accepted as an official club. So hopefully more robot stuff coming soon, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you see, please like, comment, subscribe. Beyond that, go check out the Crimson Robotics YouTube channel. It will be linked below. Thank you guys again for letting me use your footage, by the way. Seriously, helped out so much with this. I couldn't have made this video if it wasn't for the Crimson Robotics team and their live stream footage. So thank you guys again for watching, and have a good one.